So let's touch on the Debt Management Office strategic session presentation with the fixed income stakeholders. This is relatively key because it gives quite a bit of information as to what we'll see going forward in 2012. Has this affected sentiment at all today?
Yes, thank you very much, Eleni. At the strategic section with the DMO, a number of issues were highlighted, among which was that the Debt Management Office was going to issue a 10-year bond that we have seen last month on the 25th with the issuance of a new bond, the 1639 FGN January 2022 maturity, and the reopening of another bond, the 7% FGN October 2019 maturity. As part of the strategic session, market was highlighted that the Debt Management Office intends, number one, to reduce the number of issues in the market. Secondly, they intend to withdraw illiquid bonds from the market. Thirdly, they intend to switch bonds that are not trading from the market. And thirdly, the Debt Management Office intends to deepen the benchmark bonds in issue that market is presently trading. Yeah. But market got worried with the fact that apart from the illiquid bonds that are not trading, we have some near-term maturities that will be maturing by next year and next 2 years. This year alone, market will see a total of about 456 billion maturing from the market. And by next year, market will see about 900 billion maturing from the market. Stakeholders would have wished that these bonds would mature into their portfolio, but from what we could decipher from the DMO information is that these bonds will be repriced, and by repricing it means that banks may not get cash, that banks may be offered another bond in replacement of the maturing obligations, and that sent jitters into market, and we saw market very, very bearish in the last 3 days with on-the-run opening issues moving up from 16.39 to about 16.5 on the 10-year issue.
So, Emmanuel, let's also just touch on the bond auction that was meant to happen this week. In fact, tomorrow, that's been postponed. What kind of impact is it going to have on the market? As you mentioned, some of the factors already creating jitters in the market.
Yes, going by the DMO presentation, market went speculative, and we saw dealers going short on some issues with the intention that with the high prevailing market rate that youths will come up and they'll buy from the auction. Unfortunately, the tide went against some persons that short sold from the market with the postponement of the auction. And what we saw today was a huge scramble for securities for the short sold position to be covered. We saw yields that were as high as 16.5 on the 16.39 FGN January 2022 maturity, dipping down to as low as 16.25 on the closing day.
Emmanuel,
and the market has continued. And market has continued to be bullish, and we expect this trend to continue because the DMO did not come up to tell market when exactly they'll be coming back for another auction.